don't necessarily have the money for, but you buy it anyways. This is an impulsive decision, just like reaching for that slice of cake or making a bad joke. When your brain interacts with a stressful situation, the HPA becomes activated, releasing a hormone called cortisol. But let's take a step back and look at the building blocks for why humans make impulsive decisions. The base of being impulsive starts as a child. From infancy to childhood is when the brain is still developing, and this is when the brain can produce epigenetic changes that are sometimes permanent. Epigenetic changes can turn off some genes and activate others. An example is, if you were exposed to a lot of stress as a fetus, then your amygdala is going to grow from a young age, and in adulthood, when your brain is fully developed, you will have elevated stress hormone levels. The main reason humans make impulsive decisions is because of brain development. We're going to take a look at two parts of the brain. The part of the brain that controls decision-making is the frontal cortex, which is a part of the frontal lobe, aka the reassuring part of the brain. The prefrontal cortex regulates behaviors like concentration, judgment, decision-making, and social interaction. This part of the brain is that little voice that asks, "Is this really a good idea?" The center of violence and fear comes from the part of the brain called the amygdala. Elevated testosterone or stress hormone levels makes the amygdala more active, making the frontal cortex less activated. Chronic stress can change our brains, being overworked and having arguments at home. Our brains change in shape in response to experiences that have happened before. Stress and trauma over a long period of time make the amygdala increase in size and the frontal cortex shrink. Neurons become more excitable inside the amygdala when it grows, making it easier to make impulsive decisions. For example, chronic stress activates the brain and the number of neural connections in the amygdala, and as cortisol rises, it sends electrical signals to the hippocampus. The hippocampus is the part of the brain that is associated with learning, memories, and stress control, so when you have a lot of stress, then it deteriorates. The second reason why humans make impulsive decisions is because of decision fatigue. Studies have shown that criminals who have been tried by judges in the morning are more likely to receive parole than criminals that are judged in the afternoon. This is because humans experience decision fatigue. This kind of exhaustion occurs after a period of cognitive decision-making. Everything the human body does uses some sort of energy, therefore, after a certain time period of making decisions, people decide to take it easy. Decision fatigue can lead to people making less confident, impulsive decisions. The third reason is because of abuse to the brain. There are things that can affect our frontal lobes and hazards our decision-making skills, such as brain injury, alcohol and drugs, and dementia. As well as addictive substances such as gaming, smoking, and sweet/fattening foods fool the human taste buds and corrupt our reward system. The final reason is because humans might not have free will. Robert Sapolsky is one of the most well-known neuroscientists in the world. Sapolsky's best-selling books include Behave, which examines the biological mechanisms that shape human actions, and then Determined, that talks about how biological mechanisms drive all actions. Robert says that humans don't have free will and instead claims that your current actions are because of your past actions. A study was done on gambling. People were given the decisions whether or not to choose risky high reward cards or stable low reward cards. Those that chose the risky cards received big wins and but a net loss, whereas the stable cards resulted in a net gain. However, these people were not just anyone. They were patients, and the ones who chose the risky cards were actually substance abusers. The patients that chose the stable deck were actually controlled patients. People who are impulsive are more motivated by immediate reward rather than the potential long-term consequences.